Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story as a teen Beachbody coach and just a little bit about my overall health and fitness journey. So, my journey to better health and fitness has been a long one, with all kinds of unexpected bumps and twists and turns in the road along the way, as I'm sure either you can relate to or you know someone else who can relate to that. I've struggled with weight fluctuation since my childhood, and it's basically just been a roller coaster ride of being underweight and overweight and just right, and then underweight and overweight again. This is largely in part due to my history of disordered eating habits, and I've always sort of used food as a source of control in my life until now. There were times in my past where I wouldn't eat enough, or I would overexercise to feel as though I had control over something in my life. There were times when I overate and I used food to build, these physical walls up around myself. This was my way of hiding from the world and basically saying, don't look at me, don't talk to me, don't touch me, while dealing with depression and anxiety, which resulted from a sexual assault when I was 14 years old. And then, for over 10 years, I really struggled with digestive issues, which I strongly attribute to the mind-body connection. I believe that that is a real and powerful thing. I also faced other challenges with my health. I passed the first of what would be 5 kidney stones at only 15 years old. And those are pretty painful. It's not something I'd wish on anybody. It's awful. My hope when I began my health and fitness journey was that my new eating habits and my new way of life would prevent me from ever having to go through that pain again. And ultimately my poor eating habits and my unsuccessful attempts to take care of my body landed me in a rut that I was sure I'd literally never get out of. In the fall and winter of 2012, I spent so much of my time in and out of hospitals for various tests and procedures, trying to find answers that would offer me a way to feel well. And there were no answers that sat well with me. I didn't want to take prescription medications. I didn't want to endure any more tests that would yield more inconclusive results. And, eventually my journey led me down a more natural path with a dietitian who did some food and food chemical sensitivity testing. And this chapter of my journey involved a lot of elimination in my diet, several rounds of elimination diets, hundreds of dollars spent each month on top shelf supplements, and a whole lot of self-educating in the areas of nutrition and the genetic engineering of foods and holistic and all natural ways to cure just about anything. I was selling essential oils for a while. I love my essential oils. I love the baking soda. I love the coconut oil, like all things natural. And I will say that the self-education part of that chapter was absolutely amazing, and it certainly continues to help me on this wellness journey to this day, and I rely on this knowledge to inform my decisions and to support others as a health and fitness coach as well. Unfortunately, all of the elimination diets and all the supplements I was taking ended up wreaking havoc on my health. Yes, the elimination of certain foods was helpful at first, but by continuing to eliminate more foods over time and trying to make up for nutrients I wasn't getting in my diet through various supplements, I was actually doing more harm than good to my body and to my mental health, to be honest. I became anemic. I started losing my hair. I was breaking out in welts all over my body. I wasn't sleeping at night. And I became depressed because my diets didn't allow for eating out or fun having with friends. I was essentially, restricted by food and in isolation. And it got to a point where I'd open the refrigerator door and literally just start to cry. In a home where there was so much food to go around, I was being told that I couldn't have the vast majority of it. To offer you some insight, the list of foods that I could eat was actually much shorter than the list of foods I could not eat. I was on a gluten, dairy, sugar, yeast, corn-free diet. And I also couldn't eat certain vegetables, such as lettuce and mushrooms and peppers and squash and potatoes and spinach. And I couldn't eat a number of fruits. I couldn't eat something as simple as like black pepper, just the craziest things. My chemical sensitivities were off the charts, and that made things even more restricted for me, because certain chemicals actually occur naturally in a number of different healthy foods. So ultimately, the elimination diet process triggered something within me, and I realized that food was controlling my life, which was a really unfamiliar twist in my lifelong complicated relationship to food. And coming to this realization was pretty profound for me. I began to understand why this 8-month-long journey was such an emotional one, and why my symptoms began to creep back into my life with such a furious power that just was not there before. I had to make another change in my life, and it was going to be a change that would require embarking on a self-loving, soul-searching journey to a better relationship with myself, and a healthy version of myself at that. And as we know, this takes a lot of time, and it takes effort and support and the right people placed on your path along the way. And I'm so blessed to say that I've had all of that. I have amazing family, I have amazing friends, and life experiences to show me the importance of this lifelong journey that is taking care of myself. And I began my journey with Beachbody in October 2014 when I saw some posts that my boyfriend's cousin had made on Facebook regarding the 21-day fix. And at this time, I was a first-year part-time kindergarten teacher, but anyone who tells you that a part-time first-year teaching position is actually part-time is straight up lying to you. So, I got to school at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I worked until 4, sometimes even later. I'd come home just to work more, eat dinner, and then work until bedtime. I wasn't making any time for myself or my health, and as a result, I began putting on weight. I wasn't happy with myself, and I was so unhappy to be so out of touch with my own needs. And it was time to make that change. I didn't have a choice. And I'm so thankful that I reached out to my coach, Jenny Lacasse, not only because she's been such an incredible source of support and light in my life, but she has taught me that coaching part-time is totally possible, even with such a crazy schedule. I could instantly relate to Jenny, like right away, because she's also a teacher, so she understood what I was going through. She had her first year experience a few years back, and she knew exactly what I was dealing with. But her work hours were much longer than mine. She is also a cheerleading coach. She's a mom and a wife. She has all these responsibilities that I don't even have. And I'm still trying to wrap my mind around how she does it all, but she does it, and she does it because she has a vision for herself and a vision for her family. And it's because of her vision that I became inspired and I became empowered to believe in something so much bigger than myself. And I knew that if she could be Superwoman, I could try to follow in her footsteps. I wanted to share that feeling of success and wellness with others, so I made it happen. And, in my eyes, I made it happen and then some. Because in April 2015, I decided to resign from my job as a teacher. I know you're probably thinking, like, seriously, after just 1 year? And yes, after just 1 year, I decided to resign from my teaching job. While I loved the kids and I loved the staff and I loved teaching so much itself, there was just so much about the job that just didn't sit well with my heart. And without getting into too much detail for fear of getting off topic, I'll just say that, the academic demands and pressures that are on kids and teachers today ultimately were just too overwhelming and left me feeling unhappy. And I just haven't looked back or questioned my mission as a coach since. This company continues to change the lives of so many people in tremendous ways, including my own. If somebody said to me a year ago today that this is where I would be and this is what I would be doing, and I would leave my job as a teacher, something I've wanted since I was a little girl, something I worked so hard for in college, I'd tell them that they're crazy. I just never would imagine that this is where I'd be, but I couldn't be happier. I've never felt so strong and empowered and well in all my life. And, I see financial freedom on the horizon, and I see so many other coaches that, have achieved incredible success in this business too. And I've matched my teaching salary and then some. And of course, my income continues to grow with time. I feel so incredibly blessed to be able to share my story with all of you. This opportunity has allowed me the opportunity to share my journey with you, my story with you, what makes me a coach with you. And I'm feeling blessed to share my story with others who are fighting to find their way despite the challenges that happen along the way. And with that said, I want you to know that your story, no matter what it is in this business, your story will always be valued. It will always be met with acceptance, and it will always be met with love and appreciation for being real and for being vulnerable. So thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to my story today. And I look forward to posting again tomorrow, guys. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.